Ksenia. So it's not Ksenia, it's just Ksenia.
Okay. It is.
All right, everybody. It is 9 o'clock. We are live on the Dream Team. I am going to go ahead and mute everybody out right now to start with so we can get it. We are recording. It is Saturday, March 23rd. And I don't know about y'all, but it has been an amazing Saturday. I'm excited about what's left. We have 9 days left. And this is the time that I find in most months where people really kick it in. I don't know what goes on in our brains, but we really, kick it up a notch and start, putting in a lot more effort, a lot more consistency, a lot more things going on. But here's the big thing that I want you to understand today is this is the last 9 days of the first quarter in 2019. And there's the hair on my arm standing up again. I get chills thinking about what 2019 is going to be and what it already has been in the first quarter and what they're predicting it to be and what it's on track to be, close to between $500 million and $750 million, maybe even $1 billion, because there are so many people that are, just coming on board like wildfire and just kicking this thing into whole new levels. And here's what I want you to understand. This is not the time to sit back. This is the time to keep the pedal to the metal and keep pushing as hard. Whether you're having, and this is where a lot of people get torn away because they feel like, oh, I'm just spinning my wheels. I'm not having any success. It's just not working for me. I can guarantee you that if you're consistent and you're putting in the time and you're in love with the process and you just keep doing the process, it is going to break loose. You don't want to be in that position where you're 3 feet from the diamond mine and you decide you just had enough. And 2 more whacks of that pick and your business is exploding and you're doing better than you ever could imagine, right? But I see this happen in 40 plus years. I've seen this happen to people so many times. Talk to Robert Hollis. Talk to some of the people that have been in this industry for a long time, and they will tell you that that is probably one of the things that they see most often that is so depressing and despondent with their team is people that are right there. And because they feel like, well, I've done it enough. I've done this for 3 months. I've done this for 6 months. Carlos, and I had to use it the other day, but he put up an amazing post with this poor woman, just tears coming down her eyes, and she was so sad. And it said, I've been in the business a whole week, and I'm not a millionaire yet. This must be a scam, right? And we all chuckle at that, but don't we know people like that, right? Anybody here ever met someone like that got into business? And a week after they got into business, they weren't millionaires and they thought, man, what a scam. And yet they've been working for 20 years of their life and barely making it, living paycheck to paycheck. And that, for some reason, is perfectly fine. That's just perfectly okay. I can get up every morning, go to a job, and I'm retired now, but for 40 years, I got up every single day. I was putting some days 18 hours a day in. I was away from my family 6 months out of the year. I couldn't tell them where I was, what I was doing because of the organization I worked for. Traveling all over the world to places that you don't take vacations to. Doing things that, weren't necessarily the funnest or the safest things in my life. Yet that was okay for me to do. But when I get into a home-based business, all of a sudden, all of the rules get thrown out the window. And if I don't have success in a week or 2 weeks or a month, what is wrong? This must be a scam. Yet I can work my life in a job, and I happen to like my job, and I was getting paid very, very well. But I know there are people out there right now on this training today that are working a job, and they may or may not love it, but they're not making millions of dollars a year, right? They're not making 6 figures. They're probably struggling, and both them and their spouse are having to work to get by. And I can say that because I know in the U.S., that's the national average. National average of income is around $35,000 a year, right? So if I can show you a way to make an extra $1,000, that's an extra 12,000, and you're making maybe 20,000, you've just hit the national average. If I can show you a way to make an extra 2,000, is that going to change somebody's life? And if it takes them, and here's the thing that you have to understand. I'm a 50K affiliate. So my car bonus is $1,000 a month. Let's just talk about that real quick here. That's $1,000 a month. Next month when I hit 100K affiliate, it goes up to $2,000 a month. But let's just look at it. It's $1,000 a month. It took me 6-7 months to get to 50K affiliate, right? And now I've got, if I don't count anything else, starting next month, I'll be getting a $1,000 a month raise. How many with the raise of hands right now? Thank you. It's because of you guys. Okay. How many of you with the raise of hands right now could walk into the business, the job that you have, and go to your boss and say, hey, starting next month, I want a $1,000 a month raise, and get it? Anybody? Anybody here? Carlos can, because he's in our business, right? I don't know anybody that can do that. I look at Aaron Parker. His monthly, and once you get to 100K, it's not a car bonus anymore. It's a elite expense account bonus or something. It's $2,000 a month. How many of you in your job could walk in, next month and say, hey, I want a $2,000 a month. I want a $24,000 a year raise starting tomorrow, and get it, right? And Jane's almost falling off her chair. She's laughing so hard, right? Because we know that just is not the norm. That's not the possibility of what we have to deal with. Yet we get in network marketing and all of a sudden something happens and we think things should change. We think we shouldn't have to work for 5 years to get, a decent income coming in. We should get that in a week. We should get that in 5 weeks. We should get that in a month, 2 months, 3 months. And we shouldn't have to work that hard. We shouldn't have to know any new skills. We shouldn't have to learn anything. We shouldn't have to follow instructions. We shouldn't have to do the things that we have to do every single day in our job. Why is that? And I'm saying this because I've done this same exact thing. When I first got involved with network marketing back in the 70s, I just thought this was an opportunity. And my first thing that I did was I thought, I'm a really kind of smart guy. I got a really high IQ. I think it's 5 or 6. And I think that, I should be able to figure this out myself. I don't need anybody's help. I don't need to go to school for this. I don't need to get instructions and everything else. And I failed miserably. It wasn't until I sat down and said, okay, I give. I surrender. Please, somebody tell me what to do. And this time I am going to listen to what you say. And when I did that, all of a sudden, I took a network marketing business to 6 figures and built an organization. Now, one of the challenges I had through life was that every time I was involved in network marketing while I was in my career, I was making mid 6 figures in my career. So I didn't have that burn the boat syndrome on me. I knew that if I didn't make it in network marketing, I was comfortable, I would still have a good income, okay? But when you get to the point where you say, you know what, this is it. For those of you who are on the training, how many of you were on the training with Aaron and Candace Bird Davies last night, or the other night, Thursday night, right? She was telling her story, and I love what she was saying, that she had a good career in the insurance industry, and it all went down the tubes. And the way she put it was, her back wasn't up against the wall. It was going through the wall. She had to do something. And one of her good friends introduced her to network marketing. And this was like 4 years ago. And her first response was, are you kidding? You must not think much of me if you're going to try to get me into one of those pyramid scams. You must not think very highly of me. Now, obviously, her idea of what network marketing has changed. But she finally realized that, if she was going to do something, she had to make some changes in her life. And she got involved with network marketing. And not knowing any better, she just went out there and, followed instructions and killed it. and within a 2-year period, hit 7 figures. Busting her butt, working, following instructions, and doing what she was taught. Because she didn't know any better. She didn't have any preconceived notions other than it was a scam, and she couldn't allow it to be a scam at this point, right? So some of you need to burn the boats. You need to get to the island of network marketing, and you need to burn your boats so that it's the only thing that you've got left to do, right? So there's no turning back. You know, we talk about mindset almost every single Saturday. We talk about mindset for a little bit. I know Robert Hollis, man, mindset is so very important. Candace talked about it. Aaron talks about it. Carlos talks about it. I will talk about it until my dying day because it was one of my downfalls in building a business. I didn't think I needed mindset. What's that? You know, is that some spooky, esoteric, you know, thing that we have to learn? But if you don't have the right mindset, which is 98% of your success in your business, if you don't have the right mindset, then you fall into a category where you become your own worst enemy. And I don't care what business you're in. You could be in the business, a network marketing company that you really don't have to do anything except for one thing, and everybody else does everything else for you. And if your mindset's not right, you won't do that one thing. And you still won't have success. You'll have all kinds of reasons. You know, you can have excuses and you can have success, but obviously you can't have them both, right? So some of you, as much as you don't want to hear it, I know I put it in a Dream Team group, and I put it in a Dream Team Facebook Messenger group, a copy of Candace's I am statements. We already had a great set that's in there too that you can use that Carlos put in there. And to me, you can make up your own I am statements. But this isn't something that, you know, has to do with your spirituality and things like that. Like a lot of people think, oh no, this is kind of mystical and everything. It's taking the amazing thing that God gave us, this brain up here, this amazing tool that God gave us and wants us to use. You know, if think about this for a second. If God didn't want us to use our brain, why would he have the scriptures written? Because we obviously wouldn't be able to understand them or use them or read them or do anything else. He gave us a brain because this is the tool. This is something that we can use to understand. And if you train that brain, just like, you know, in a few weeks here, we're getting a new puppy. And when I say a puppy, he's going to be about 20 pounds when we get him at 8 weeks old. So he's kind of like a bear puppy. You know, he's a big dog. He has to be trained. I have to give him I am statements. His name's going to be Gabriel, and I'm going to be telling him every day, Gabriel, sit down. Gabriel, stand up. Gabriel, stop chewing. Gabriel, leave the other dog alone. Gabriel, quit biting the grandkids. You know, those are I am statements, right? And you need to be giving yourself, because eventually Gabriel is going to go, oh yeah, he said sit down. I better do something here. So and those of you who can see this, hopefully everybody can. This is my secondary monitor, and look what's on it. The I am statements. So they're right in front of me as I'm going throughout my day. I look over there, and every time I look over there now, since I put them up yesterday, every time I look over there, I take a break and I read them. I take a break and I read them. I take a break and I read them. So every time my mind, I'll be dragging a window over to that external monitor because I'm doing something, and I see those I am statements, and I stop what I'm doing, I read the I am statements, and then I continue on what I'm doing. How long do you think it takes me to read those? 30 seconds? Maybe. If I really absorb them in a minute? Is it worth a minute of your time throughout the day to do something like that, to make this appear better and make your business better? If it's not, that's okay. We still love you. We think you're an amazing individual. And, you know, you might think that maybe having your own home business or being an entrepreneur may not be something for you. But if you are going to take mindset and think about it as something that, oh yeah, You know, I hear about that all the time. But what do I need to do? How many posts do I need to make? And what do I need to say in those posts? And what do the graphics need to look like? And where's my scripts? I need scripts. Where are all the scripts? And what do I need to do next? And you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be frustrated very, very quickly. So I know you're probably sitting back thinking now, oh man, Ron's talking about mindset again. Well, I am. I love it, Richard. I am. Okay. One of the things that I just gave to my wife, and I don't know why it took me so long to give it. She reads every day. She's a school bus driver. So on all of her breaks, she reads. And I can't even, you know, pick it up now and show you. But we were talking the other day and I said, honey, you know what? Before you start another book, I want you to take this book and read it. Now, if anybody's got the book that you think I'm talking about and can hold it up right now. I want to see. Absolutely. See what Carlos is holding up? Because I'm married to an amazing lady. That is the greatest miracle in the world, right? So I want her to know that. I want her to read that. I want her to experience what I experienced when I read it. You need to take these last 9 days. You want to change your business going into the third quarter. The third quarter of the second quarter. The second quarter of the year is typically the most powerful quarter in network marketing. April, May, and June. Everybody's got over the holidays in the first quarter. They're getting ready. Everybody wants to make money for their vacations coming up in June, July, August, and September. It is always traditionally, typically, statistically been the best quarter of the year, right? To make it your best quarter, you need to have momentum going in there. So let's take the next 9 days and slot out time in your day, every single day without any kind of break, to work on your mindset, to work on you, to becoming a better Linda, to becoming a better Daniel, to becoming a better Devin, a better Richard, a better Marcus, better Gina, better Wayne, better Arlene, better Jessica too, better Mikey, better Carlos, better Ron, better Jane, better Christina, Kimbra, both Christinas. I think both Christinas are in UK, right? Better Kim, LW, Lois, Osprey. If you're not working, and I didn't even look at the second page, but if you're not working on becoming a better you, guess what's happening? Someone else is working on becoming a better them. And they're having more success. They're building their dream, and you're not. You're going to reach out and you're going to attract people at the level that you are right now. And I get this question asked to me all the time. Well, you know, I've got these people that on Facebook and they're reaching out to me, but they're all, you know, they don't want to do anything. They got this problem, that problem, this challenge, that challenge. And, you know what my first question is? How are you doing on your personal growth? Because if you want to attract this person up here, guess what you need to do? Right? When I met Carlos 25 years ago, okay, it wasn't that long, but it seems like it now. It seems like we've been friends forever, right? Carlos reached out to me because we are both a part of an organization called, I'm not going to tell you, but we are both a part of an organization that, you know, taught marketing and all kinds of different things. And he wanted a website and some capture pages done. And I think somebody had told him, you know, check with Ron because, you know, he does that. But we connected up. And I remember thinking when I first met him, wow, this is a guy that understands who he is. Not marketing, not technology, you know, not how to recruit. But I saw someone that really knew what it meant to become a better him. And he's proved that. For those of you who, anybody here that doesn't know Carlos, but for those of you who know Carlos, he'll tell you that his success in life and everything he does is because of the time he takes becoming a better Carlos. If you're not considering that a skill set, if I'm looking to hire you in a job and you're coming to, apply for a job for me, the first thing I'm going to tell you that you need to do the next day, if I hire you, is I'm going to give you a book about personal growth and say, hey, you've got to read this. You know what Robert Hollis did when he and I first got together? He said, I need you to do something. I need you to read that book that Carlos lifted up, and I need you to read this, The Science of Getting Rich. Let me know when you're done, and we'll talk. Now, I could have said, what? What do you mean? No. What do you got for a script? I need a script. Come on, give me a script. But instead, I went and read the books. And not only did I read the books, I then went through his course on the 16 chapters of The Science of Getting Rich to find out his feedback, his concept, his knowledge and wisdom on each of those chapters, right? Because I saw someone that was an 8-figure earner. I saw someone that had created 54 millionaires at that time, now 55. I saw someone that was number 13 in the world overall, top earner in network marketing, lifetime. Those were the 3 clues I needed to find a mentor and to pick a mentor. And everything that he gave me, the 2 things he gave me to read, guess what they're all about? Let me tell you what they're not about. There's not one script in these books. There's not one script in those books on how to recruit, what to say to somebody if they reach out to you and say, yeah, I'd love to, but I don't have the time. You won't be able to go into those books and find a script to answer those. But what you will be able to do is have a better mindset to understand how to handle any objection, regardless of what it is, without a script. Because those 2 books make a better you, right? A better you. So, last week, Saturday training. How many people were on last week's Saturday training with Robert Hollis? Was that phenomenal or what? We were like too short of maxing out Zoom on just the panelist side. I don't know where we were total. I'm sure we had 200 or 300 people easily. There are 2 trainings, and some of you may have noticed, I put a document in the Dream Team Facebook group this morning. And here's my assignment. And you guys can do what you want with my assignments. I don't check up on you. You don't get graded. Here's, the grade that you get is the success that you have, right? But here's the assignment I want to give you over the next 9 days. 3 things. One is, I want you to set aside some time every single day to become a better you. Just to become a better you, whatever that is. For me, I take time to sit down and read the scriptures. I take time to listen to an audio. I take time throughout the day to do my IMs now and whatever it takes. It has to become a priority. It has to be something that you say you're going to do. And if somebody comes in, you guys have seen, I've got the grandkids here during the week, and they are always opening the door and wanting, and next week is, spring break, so they're going to be here all week long. But they know when my door is open that unless it's an emergency, they shouldn't be opening the door. Okay? You need to do that. You need to do that for you. You need to do that for your family. You need to do that for your business. And you need to do that for the people that you are going to impact and the lives you're going to change because you're doing it. That's the first thing. The next thing is I want you to take that document and open it up. And the document is called I don't remember, but it's the top one. Carlos, do you have it there in front of you? You know what the document is? I forget what I called it. It's a fast start training, something like that.
And the Daring Dream Team group.
Yeah, the latest document I put up there.
Yeah, let me find it and I'll post it here.
Okay, and it's a real short document. It's got 2 links in it. It talks about 2 trainings that I want you to watch, and those 2 trainings are about a little over an hour, right? And the first one is last week's Robert Hollis training with this group. Now, for some of you, if you were in the tribe, in Robert's tribe training, he went on, and if you put those 2 together, that is just an incredibly, one of the most powerful trainings I've seen in years. But even if you're not, and that's like a $19.99 a month charge fee to be in his tribe. And understand, I've had people say, well, why is he charging to train his own people? Because that has been around for a long time, and it's not open to just My Daily Choice people. It's open to people throughout, the world. Anybody that wants to get involved with it, and that's part of what his son Matthew Hollis is building and so forth. So it's not, we think that because it's mostly My Daily Choice people, that's what he created it for, and it's not. It's been around for a long time. It's part of, their company and their business and so forth. But I will tell you that if you're not willing to pay $20 a month to build your business and become better, then that's okay. That's a choice you need to make. But for me, it's worth thousands of dollars. The next thing in that document is the training that Aaron and Candace did the other night. And if you didn't see that, that was an amazing, amazing training. That's what I want you to do. I want you to go through those 2 trainings. I want you to sit down in a quiet place with whatever tool you use. If you use your laptop, your pad, your phone, pencil and paper, sit down, take notes, especially like in Candace, because Candace has some really down-to-earth physical things to do, like make your push and pull list, right? Draw the line, 5 things that push you, 5 things that pull you. Get your little boxes with the numbers. And I'm not going to tell you all the secrets, but go there, go through those 2 videos with the intent that you're in a college level course and you're going to get graded on this, and it's a pass or fail. And if you don't pass it, you can't build your business until you do. That's a mentality you need to have. I'm becoming a doctor. I'm becoming a lawyer. I've got the potential to make millions of dollars. And I'm going to sit down and I'm going to take this serious, and I'm going to go through these 2 videos, and I'm going to take notes, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to get as much. And I'm not just going to put the stuff down. I'm then going to take the rest of the month and start taking action on it. Okay? So hold on a second here. I'm just going to throw my chat up here because I see a lot of stuff going on. So. And Carlos, again, thank you so much, man. Yeah, Arlene, if you are a part of either Robert's tribe or inner circle, one of the courses that come with it is his course on the science of getting rich, and he goes through each chapter in that. Okay.
Hey, Ron, Jessica Pankey had her hand up earlier, and I sent her a message. I'm not sure if she saw it. Jessica, what question do you have for us? I don't know if you raised your hand by mistake. If you want to unmute yourself.
Oh, I just was agreeing with Ron when he said
she doesn't have her camera on, so she was putting her blue hand up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jessica.
You're awesome. Thank you,
I don't want to keep this long today, and I know I've rambled on for 30 minutes, but because I want to give you the maximum time in the last 9 days to really kick your business in and get. I know there's a lot of people that are shooting for 1,000 this month, or 2,000 this month, or 5K, 10K, whatever it might be. To me, it doesn't matter what your goal is. If your goal is I want to get 500 in BV this month on my team, then let's work. Let's get that done. If you want to get to the 1,000K level, if you want to get to the 2,000, whatever it might be. You know, but I want to give you as much time as you can. Okay. Okay. You're welcome, Arlene. All right. So mindset. You know, you're never going to hear me stop talking about it. It's a very, very important. I'm trying to, and here's the other thing I would like you to do, just to, you know, kind of away from the mindset issue, is if you have questions during the week of something that you would like me to make a little training video on, that helps out a lot. That not only helps you, but that helps so many other people. I did a training video, a little short training video on how to forward your domains, you know, the other day, and put that up there. Well, guess what? That becomes an asset that people can jump on and look, and they don't, because here's you have a choice in your business. And then I'm going to share my screen real quick with you and show you something, and then I'm going to turn it over to Carlos, but so you can get some real training. You're either the type of person that does one of two things. You either ask first, look second, or you look first and ask second, okay? Now, what you really want in your team is those people that will go look at the resources, see if the resource that they need to answer to, the question to answer to is there, and use that. And because that does a couple of things. One is it teaches you to go look for the answer instead of always taking what I consider the easy way out and just, let me just ask and see if somebody's got the answer for me, right? And guess what? Now I find the resource. So now I find the YouTube link, and now I've got, you know, maybe, I don't know, Wayne reaches out to me, and Wayne says, hey, Ron, how do I do this? And I say, you know, I'm not sure exactly how it's done, but I did notice in our resources the other day, there's a video that Carlos did exactly on that subject. Let me share with you that link, and let me know how that goes, right? Two things that you want to do is, one is you want to learn, and I've talked to you about this before, right? You want to learn these 3 words. I don't know. For most of you are going, well, yeah, that doesn't sound very good. You're not the expert. And the other thing you need to do is you need to learn that you don't have to be the thing. You don't have to be the thing. You don't have to be the person that knows it all. That's why we've got resources. You make yourself unduplicatable. I don't want people thinking, wow, I've got to be as smart as Ron, or I got to be a techie like Ron. I got to do all of these things, or I'm not going to have success. Absolutely not. Here's what you need to do. You need to learn to do this. Right? Point, guide, and direct. And teach your team to do that. Because you will never attain an organization that you can go to the beach with if you are the guy or the gal. Because you're going to be like this. Yeah, honey, I'll be right there. I know you guys are having really fun at that luau, but I'll be right there. Just a second. I only got 7,000 more of these to do. I'll be right there. Just hold on. He's got a question here. How do I log in? Oh, yeah, I got to explain this to him. I got to teach him how to log in. I was that guy. One day my wife said, do you always have to be the person? And it hit home with me. And I've heard Robert say it 100 times. You're right, honey. Why do I always have to be the person? Why can't I create a video and let that video be the person? It's not that I don't enjoy answering people's questions, but it makes for bad business. It makes for bad business. Okay? So, with that said, I want to show you this real quick. It's technical, so I got to figure out how to do it. Okay, I think it's this one. All right. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. It looks like a YouTube channel.
Yes.
All right. This is the Daring Dream Team YouTube channel. and I know I've referred to this on quite a few occasions, but not enough, okay? Because every time I do a training like this, every time there's a training that someone else does that I can get and I can capture and I can record, two places I put it on a Google Drive, on our Google Drive that you all have access to, so that you can download it and do what you want with it. Put it on your own YouTube, whatever you want. And I put it on the Daring Dream Team YouTube. And the reason I do that is because there are no links on this YouTube. So no one's going to go there and go, okay, yay, I'm going to join the Daring Dream Team. Okay, you got to find someone to do that with. Okay, so this is a safe YouTube channel where you can get these videos. They're all done in playlist, right? So you can look at, I want team training, okay? There are, 57 videos in there. Presentations, there's a couple of presentations, corporate videos, medical reviews, and so forth. Webinar replays, news reports. The other thing you can do is, let's say we want to look at that 5-minute news video. So I type in news up here. News clip, our product featured, 5 minutes. Look at that, right there. You want to send this out to somebody? There you go, right? Unmuted. There we go. Okay, here's some other news reports, a ton of them. I want to find out about maybe the compensation plan. So I just type in comp. Oops. Well, here's a couple of compensation plans. Maybe I want to find out about Josh. Here's Josh and Jenna corporate training. Here's the roadshow. Here's a Josh and Jenna story. Pre-enrollee video, team training, on and on and on. If I go to the playlist, I can go into team training and you'll see, oops, you don't want to see him, but you'll see all of these trainings here. If I'm looking, if I go back here and I say, okay, I want to look at how to do a domain, okay? How to forward domain in GoDaddy. Boom, here you go, right? What do I do with samples? Okay, how to upgrade sample customers. Boom. Are you guys getting this? The more you tell me, the more I'll do these and put these out there. And if you have questions about anything, so here's what I want for everybody to do is for yourselves and for your team, the first place you look is in the YouTube videos and check it out and see if there's a video there that will answer your question. Check out the Daring Dream Team and the documents and the files. Check out if there's something in there, if you're looking for a script or something. You do the research up front first, because if you do it, you're going to learn it and you're going to know how to pass it on to your team.
Hey, Ron, give me a moment. Mark Elliott, I keep on trying to mute you, and you keep on unmuting yourself. Can you mute yourself, please, Mark Elliott? Thank you.
Okay. So, does that make sense to everybody? Everybody understand that? This is how you end up building a business of, we've got 2,000 people on the team. Can you imagine what my day would be if I was having to answer 2,000 questions every single day? I see Lily laughing and smiling. It's, because we couldn't do it, right? You can't do it. And then you get people that are frustrated. People are upset. Oh, Ron didn't answer my question. Oh, you mean I should have looked it up first? Oh, okay. I think I'll try that. Mark, that's hilarious. My phone was the epitome of butt dialing or pocket dialing, right? But that was pocket unmuting and muting. Okay. I always like a good laugh. All right. I hope this has made sense. I hope this is kind of giving you something in the next 9 days to kind of, focus yourself on where you need to go in between here, where you need to get yourself in a mindset of training and learning and teaching and building your team. So with we'll open it up to some questions here at the end. And I didn't mean to take so much of the time because I know Carlos he's always got such amazing advice. We've had such an amazing week. He and I, we hardly ever talk more than 5 times a day. But, and my wife is walking by now and saying, "Hey, Carlos, how you doing, Carlos?" Like, you know, she's known him all her life too. So God bless you all. I'm going to turn it over to Carlos, and then we'll open it up for a few questions. Carlos, take it away.
Awesome. Amazing, Ron. Thank you so much, folks. And, you know, Ron was on point with everything. And Ron, thank you for everything that you do for this team. Folks, I mean, we are so blessed to have Ron here. I say it over and over and over again because, I mean, if you look at just the resources that are in the Facebook group, the resources that are in the Daring Dream Team channel, I mean, it's there for you. So, you know, Tony Robbins always says, you know, and Ron, so thank you so much for everything you do. We love and appreciate you. But, you know, Tony Robbins always says, you know, we don't fail because of lack of resources, right? We don't fail because of lack of resources. Sometimes we say, well, you know, it's the money, it's, you know, the time, you know. He says we fail because of lack of resourcefulness. All right. Resourcefulness basically means you just got to find a way to get it done. All right. So how do we do that? That's what Ron talked about today. He talked about the mindset because, folks, there really is no secret formula to this. I used to think that there was. This was me. I was stuck in that mode for, my goodness, 21, 22 years. This is, you know, almost close to 23 years. And can any of you guys relate to that? Like you're stuck, like I just can't seem to get out. Okay, folks, this is me. Like I can relate to all of that. I know exactly what your struggles are. And I'm going to make it really simple for you. I'm going to make it as simple as I possibly can. Like what gets you the breakthrough to finally get beyond that? I'm going to tell you this amazing story of this just amazing young lady that I'm kind of working with here. And you know, one of the things that really is just you're going to have to get to the point eventually, whether it's today. And by the way, I'm not judging any of you because I know what it's like to struggle like that. All right. So trust me, comes from a feeling, from a heartfelt, something that I've been there. I know what it's like to be just kind of stuck and you're grinding and, you know, it's like a dream. It's like, oh my goodness, it's like Bill Murray and Groundhog Day. Man, didn't I just live this thing? You know, you just kind of keep on going through the same thing over and over. But it really, truly does comes to the reprogramming of your mind more than anything else. So, you know, when Ron talks about, you know, the mind, the I am statements, okay? And if you want to create your own, that's totally fine, you know, but you've got to take the time to go through that. You've got to take the time to visualize, you know. Jessica, the amazing Jessica Pankey, you know, she shared this video with me and I did a couple of lives on it a couple of weeks ago. From Mel Robbins. Okay, Mel Robbins is an awesome lady, but she talked about the power of visualization. And it doesn't take a whole lot of time. Because here's the thing, here's a fact. And by the way, everything that she does, all right, and Jessica, when you get a chance, post that video in the Daring Dream Team chat room again. It's a short video, but everything that she does is backed by science. It's not some kind of mumbo jumbo stuff, right? It's backed by science. She doesn't do anything unless it's backed by science, okay? But this is basically what she says. See, the mind cannot tell the difference between something that you imagine that's really happening and something that you visualize that you want to happen to you. All right? So as an example, if you're stuck in a rut, you're stuck in a bad relationship, you're kind of stuck in bad finances, you're just, you know, you're stuck like, hey, my goodness, I'm in foreclosure, whatever the case may be, that's the reality, right? But if that's all you think about, then guess what? Then your mind doesn't come up with solutions. Your mind comes up with obstacles that you can't get beyond. However, if all of a sudden you start thinking, well, let's say for people that are like, you know, relationship, like, man, I'm stuck in a bad relationship, but I envision myself in a beautiful relationship with someone, okay, someone that loves me and talks to me with respect and cherishes me, and I do the same thing for that person. Guess what? Your mind can't tell the difference. Here's the power. They're like, this thing hit me like a ton of bricks. Your mind cannot tell the difference between this is reality, not reality. Right? It starts to envision that as reality because it can't tell the difference. And the more you take the time to think about that, what happens is instead of now coming with obstacles, it starts to eventually open the mind and come up with solutions on how to get there. So if all you're thinking about, and again, I'm not judging you because this was me forever, all right? This was me for a long time. Man, my marriage sucks. Man, this is my second divorce. Man, this, man, that. You know what? I'm living check to check. It was always about the relationships, and it was, because we all desire to have a good relationship, right? Okay, whether it's with our children, with our friends, with our siblings, and with our significant other, right? If we have one, right? We desire to have something like that. And the other side of things are finances, right? Because finances are important in our life. So it was always the same thing. I was always thinking the same thing, the same struggles all the time. But then when I started to do the visualization, right? When I started to do the I am statements, did change happen overnight? No, it didn't. But guess what? I kept on. And eventually, okay, those things started to come to play. Am I at the current place where I want to be at? No, not by a long stretch of the imagination, but it's getting better and better and better and better. Change does not happen overnight. So more than anything else, you've got to take the time to read those I am statements religiously, like brushing your teeth, all right? It doesn't take long, folks. It takes like 5 minutes at the most, even less than Ron mentioned, just a few seconds, all right? So this is so important. Your day's got to start with that more than anything else. Just do it repeatedly. And you may be doing it now for 6 months, and you're like, Carlos, I don't see any change yet. Well, guess we're going to tell you, keep doing them. Keep doing them, because eventually the change will happen, because it definitely starts with that, okay? The next thing, if you have not taken the time to watch Candice Bird Davis's interview, take the time to watch it, please do that. So that was part of the homework assignment that Ron gave you, okay? And if you watched it once, go back again. And if you took notes, go back and read your notes, because that's what I'm doing right now. Like, one of the things that stuck with me, a lot of things stuck with me that she wrote. I got so many things like notes here and highlights. But one of the quotes that stuck with me that she said was this, okay? What are you willing to give up to go up? What are you willing to give up to go up? Now, give up doesn't always mean like something like, well, I'm going to sacrifice time on my kids. It also involves like thinking. Am I going to give up my stinking thinking, right? Am I going to give up just being busy throughout the day, right? Because many of us are busy throughout the day. But if we look back and we're like, wow, how come my business is not growing? This is the second part of her message, okay? It goes back to three things. Like if your business is not growing, it really comes up to the three boxes that she told us to draw up. Okay, it comes down to this: how many people that I piqued today? By pique, she means interest, right? How many people that I actually get to possibly pique an interest in what I'm talking about? Okay, in the business that I'm promoting, in the business that I'm passionate about. How many people did I pique today? How many watched the presentation? All right, and how many did I close? So if you're struggling in the business, go back to these three boxes at the end of the day, right? Three boxes, right? And again, the three boxes are: how many people did I pique today? How many people watched the presentation? And how many people did I close? If it starts here though, how many people did I pique? If that is 0 or next to 0, guess what your results are going to be? 0, right? So that's what we need to take a realistic look at this and go back, well, okay, my business sucks. My business is not growing. People are rank advancing. I'm not rank advancing. I'm shooting Facebook lives, right? I'm putting up nice content, nice quotes, and I'm getting some engagement. And it goes back to the basics. How many people's interest did I pique today? It starts with that, all right? If you can start out with 5 a day, imagine if you're like, you know what, I want to pique the interest of 5 people per day, 2 people per day, whatever that may be. Let's just say 1 person a day. 1 person a day. That means at the end of the 30 days, you got 30 people that potentially are going to take a look at this opportunity, right? So it comes down to this. You can be as busy as you want to be, okay, doing a lot of busyness, but it comes down to these. You need to just go back and say, okay, how many people, it starts with even with that first box. How many people's interest did I pique today? Okay. So now let's get you beyond, okay, so why aren't I doing this? Because that's really what it comes down to, right? Why am I not taking the time to actually try and pique people's interest? One could be self-confidence. Who struggles here with confidence? Raise your hand. Who struggles with self-worth? All right. Okay. All right. So, and that's okay. I want to tell you that's okay, because I struggle with it for a long time. And sometimes it's still a struggle for me. Okay. It's still a struggle for me. All right. But you got to get to the point. So how do you get beyond that? And I want to tie it back. I want to tie it back to what Candace Bird said. What are you going to give up? Okay. What are you going to give? What are you going to sacrifice to go up? All right. So that sacrifice can be like, okay, you got to tie it to something, because if you make it just about you, it's kind of hard to get out of that. Right. You got to make it about something else. Okay. You're going to get to the point where, okay, enough is enough. Right. Does anybody feel like that? Like enough is enough. Like I've had enough. I've had enough of this struggle. And that's what you got to tie to. Like, I'm making the decision now that I am not going to live like this anymore. And you make the decision. Folks, what would happen if you could just take 1 hour a day? 1 hour a day. All I'm going to do for this next hour is reach out to people and try and pique their interest. That is it. Come, lose, fail, nobody's interested. I don't care. 1 hour. This is all that I'm going to do, rock solid. You pick the time. You make an appointment with yourself. I'm going to make an appointment. So I want to challenge you, starting, you know what, starting today, pick an hour. Now, I don't want to wait till tomorrow. Pick an hour today, whatever time you choose. I am going to pick today from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. I am going to reach out, and I don't care how many people don't respond to me. I don't care how many people say no. All right. I am going to reach out to people just to pique their interest, to see who's open to take a look at this. And guess what? Some may say yes, some may say no, but that's okay. You got the 1 hour in. All right. You've got the 1 hour in. And guess what? Now you do it tomorrow and you do it again. So at the end of 30 days, you've got 30 hours. Now, hopefully you can do it more time than that, but 1 hour, I'm not asking for a lot. 1 hour, block out that time. Put your phone away, or unless you're working from your phone, right? But whatever it is, get off of, get off of distractions. Don't answer your email. Don't respond to Facebook messages. Don't go scroll through your news feed on Facebook to like people's comments. All I'm going to do for 1 solid hour is do this, and do it repeatedly over time. And I promise you the results slowly but surely will come. You know what? And it's okay to get rejected. It's okay. They're not rejecting you. I promise you. That was the one thing that I struggled with at the time. Who's afraid that if they say no to you, that you're going to take it, that it's really that they're rejecting you? Who's concerned with that? Please raise your hand. Anybody here? No. Okay, Mike Gajewski. All right, Mike, that's okay. Well, thank you for stepping out. Okay, and I want to tell you, Mike, that they're not rejecting you. Mike, you're a beautiful person, man. I love hanging out and talking with you. They're not rejecting you. That's okay. And you know what, folks, they're not rejecting you. I promise you that they're not rejecting you. Okay. Just do it consistently. There's a shout out to Arlene Fisher. Okay. Arlene Fisher is out there. And I know a lot of you guys are working your business, but Arlene, she's out there, and she'll vent at me with her frustrations and stuff like that. Carlos, oh my goodness, this, oh my goodness, that. Arlene, keep going. Don't let it get to you. Arlene, keep going. Don't let it get to you. And she keeps going. But she's starting to get some results. She's getting some sample customers. And guess what? I get excited for her, right? And I celebrate her, right? It doesn't matter how small a victory it is. I got someone I think, excellent. Excellent job. Folks, here's the thing. All right. I'm going to leave you with this. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a guy named Richard Rainwater. All right. So Richard Rainwater, he already died a few years ago, but he was an oil tycoon from Texas, okay, worth about $3 billion. And he said that his 3 keys to success were this, okay? Timing, timing, timing. I'm going to repeat that. Timing, timing, timing. Folks, okay? I take this in 2 ways. I take this in two ways. Number one, all right? Number one is this, okay? Sometimes when you reach out to people, it's just not good timing. But that's okay, all right? You're going to follow, you bless them, and you're going to follow up sometime in the future, unless they just tell you to buzz off. And if they tell you to buzz off, unfriend them, right? And if they get really lewd, then you just block them, right? But a timing as it relates to this awesome opportunity, okay? Right now, like, you've got to just be, and I'm not saying that you're not, but you've got to you're like right now more than at any other time, as many people have said, like, and as Robert Hollis has said, this is the greatest transfer of wealth that is going to happen in our lifetime with CBD. And that excitement and that emotion's got to show through you, because many people are just excited by your enthusiasm. Okay, so your enthusiasm has to show with this product as much as possible, because right now is perfect timing. Okay, I'm going to tie this into something else that Candace Bird said during her awesome interview 2 days ago. Okay, 3 days ago now. Okay, and that was the fact that and Ron touched on this, don't make it about you. Make it about someone else. All right, edify someone else. And she talked about this, right? She did watch that video, and she gives some awesome illustrations in there. Okay, she's like, oh my goodness, you know, Aaron Parker, he went through this and foreclosure, this and this, and this product changed his life. It can be an income, or it can be a product testimonial. Okay, you know what, so-and-so used to feel sick, without mentioning any kind of, you know, do your best not to mention any kind of diseases, right? This person used to be so tired all the time, was feeling sick, and, you know, this product changed their life. That excitement's got to come through as much as possible. Okay, let that enthusiasm come through, because you're in the perfect timing. And I love and respect everyone here, because I see the same faces all the time. I see the same hungry faces that are desire for change. Right? Something that's like, it's in you, it's itching, it's eating you alive, that you're like, I've just got to break free from this. And you're going to do it. Keep doing it. All right? Draw those 3 boxes every single day. And it starts out with, how many people's interest did I pique today? If that is 0, guess what? That's going to come out to 0 presentations, and it's going to come out to 0 closes. It starts out with the peaks. It starts out with the peaks. Okay, so that's something that you have to measure every single day, okay, without fail. If you want to increase your business, just, you know, you've got to take measure of those statistics. So super duper important. Okay, now let me tell you about that story. So I have a good friend of mine, and I just love single moms. I love single parents, period, but I love single moms. Okay, and especially women, you know, and people that have been in abusive relationships, okay, because I know what that struggle's like. I've been in one. I know what it's like, and it's real. And, you know, I used to judge women, not in a bad way, but in a way that, like, before me getting into an abusive relationship, right, I used to judge women from this point of view. And I used to say, well, sister, why are you putting up with that? Just leave the bum. Leave the, you know, like, come on, like, you know, like, it's so easy. Why can't you just leave? You know, I couldn't get it. You know, I used to judge him in that way, not in a harsh way, but like, just, you know, leave, just, you know, kick the guy out. And it wasn't until I started to go through that you're like, wow, I can't get out of this, you know, and the abuse happens. And it's mostly, you know, what's even worse than the physical abuse is that emotional abuse, right? And verbal abuse that happens time and time again, that just really diminishes your worth, you know? And it doesn't always need to come from words. It can just be from ignoring you, right? Isn't silence powerful too? When the person that you know, that's your significant other, that's supposed to love you and take care of you and protect you, you know, and cherish you, it just ignores you, right? Like, if you're just like nobody there, you know, I know what that feels like, you know, and that hurts just as much, you know? So guess what? My friend, her name is Nora, she went through this. And guess what? She married the guy twice, divorced him once, okay, had three beautiful daughters with him, divorced him once, wound up being an alcoholic. And he had a very professional career. He had a great career, made money. He was a good provider, okay? But his words, his actions were not loving and kind. And she stayed with him for 20 plus years. Finally had the courage to divorce the guy. And then he wooed her back. And she was mostly doing it probably for the love of her daughter. I think she still loved him because he was her first love. Okay. And she went back, remarried the guy, took her vows again in church. Okay. And he got even worse. The alcoholism was even worse. And her daughters told her, Mom, don't marry him again. And she didn't listen. She didn't listen. She thought she was doing the right thing, and she still felt love for him. He conquered her heart again. She was scared, but she got into the relationship again. And she dealt with even more abuse. So the verbal assault, he was never physically abusive to her, but you know what? Those words are just as powerful as punches and slaps, aren't they? Can anybody relate to that? Can anybody relate to that? Being put down? No, absolutely. And so now, thank you for sharing that, Daniel, and thank you, Jane, as well. And now she finds herself, she's been going through a second divorce for like 3 years now. And it's taking a toll on her financially. Definitely, right? We know divorce is expensive. I've been through 2. I know it cuts right to the pocketbook. I know what that's like, okay? Emotionally, feeling like, oh my goodness, I can't even provide, for my girls, kind of thing. And they're college age, one is, 2 are in college and one is about to graduate high school and about to go to college. He's going to have 3 in college pretty soon. Like, how do you do it? But guess what? She's surviving and she's getting to the point where she's thriving, right? And she may be joining us here in this CBD business pretty soon. You're going to get to meet her. And she's got an amazing story. She's got an amazing story. Folks, your story is so, so, so powerful. And don't feel that you need to have success in order to be excited about this. And guess what? If you do feel that, then share someone else's story. It's okay. Share someone else's story. Hey, Ron Deering, this, and this. Lily Romero is like, oh my goodness, look at Dawn. There's so many people having success on this team. All right. Share someone else's success if you don't feel confident in yours. All right. But you've got to get to the point where you're like, okay, what have you determined that enough is enough? I'm not living like this anymore. What does that change for you? What does that drive you? And that's what you have to hang on to. That's what you have to hang on to every single day. Nail it to the wall. Nail it to your computer. Enough. As they say in Spanish, no más, no more. It ends right here and now, and move forward and step into your greatness. And you will, I promise you. So thank you for that. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you got value from this. I give this back to the amazing Ron Deering. I love and appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. God bless you guys.
Wow. As always, when we say bring it, Carlos is amazing at that. So, he hit on some amazing things. The one thing that I will reinforce even more so is that last part about stories, when you've gotta rely on facts tell, stories sell. Your story is so powerful. I was talking to my one of my daughters the other day, and she was having a bad day, and I said, honey, here's the one thing that you are not the only one that is going through what you're going through. It's just impossible, physically impossible to think that you are, out of thousands and billions and trillions of people, you are experiencing something that no one else in the world has ever experienced before. So whatever it is that you're going through and whatever it is that you've gone through, I guarantee you there's someone else that has and needs to hear your story. And I've heard a lot of your stories, and they're powerful. They're just so, so very powerful. So, all right. We have a few more minutes here. Who's got a question? Who has to pick my brain or Carlos's brain or Lily's brain or who's got a question, just go ahead and unmute yourself and toss it out. Christina.
Oh, hi. It's great to be on this live right from the UK, and I hope everybody's enjoying their day as much as we are. And the training has been, as you say, completely awesome. I'm learning the American word now. Awesome is great. But I wanted to ask, actually, is anybody else reaching out to people in the UK? Because I've just put a message up that in the UK, you probably know that we're a pretty skeptical nation when it comes to network marketing and what happens. I mean, I've been in the industry for many years and I absolutely love it and make friends, but people who haven't, as a sort of stepping stone, I mean, I think stories tell and testimonials about how we get on with the CBD oil and everything else will be as strong as anything else. In the UK, we started talking about mindset, but we tend to talk about affirmations and inspiring your why. I don't know if people are reaching out to people in the UK and what sort of success they're having.
Well, we've got, I mean, today is the UK Christina Club, because we've got you and we've got Tina down there, Ersal, and Gina is from the UK. I know we've got Andy Sturton from the UK. We've got a good amount of people from the UK that are working the business. And the key that I would tell people that are outside of the US is don't be afraid to work the US. Mm. Because, right now, because of all of the, restrictions, whether they're in the UK or Canada and so forth, some of the top leaders in this company are not in the United States. People like Sonia Line out of Canada, Tara Scarry in Canada. We've just, there's a lot of people in Canada who can't get any of the products that are, 500Ks, 50Ks, 100Ks and so forth. So and they'll tell you that they spend a lot of time with people in the US and talking to the people in the US too. So Gina, you had a...
Ron, hi Christina, how you doing? I find myself, I'm in North London, when with regards to the British, I'm finding that it's not so much the network marketing, people are all over that. It's the educating on the CBD itself. Yeah. That's where we are falling behind, the knowledge, and people don't really know about it. All they know is, marijuana, and it's a drug. So it's up to us. And how you got to look at it is we're the pioneers over here in the UK.
Which is great.
So, it stands us in good stead, for one, that we're pioneers. And it's just all about giving the information out to them. And like Ron says, reach out to everyone else and the US as well. We've got friends all over the place with Facebook, so that's where we're lucky. But yeah, it's all about educating us in the UK. Sorry, Ron. And also press about how important it is about the third party and all that, because you can go into Holland and Barrett. This is what I'm being told. I can go into Holland and Barrett, the health shop, guys, and they sell CBD there. But you have to show them the comparisons.
Yes, exactly.
And like the guys say, be passionate about it. Yeah. I'm still trying. I haven't got a customer. I haven't got an affiliate yet, and I've been doing this for a couple of months now. But I'm keep going, because I know that these guys over here, they're just learning, like they're infants at this stage.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Oh, it's really great to speak to you. Thanks.
Okay then. Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Carlos.
Gina is an incredible example of being married to the process and not the results. Now she used the word that really popped out when she said it: pioneers. If you look at history, who are the ones that go down in the history books? The pioneers. The pioneers. So if you understand that being a pioneer is, yeah, it takes a lot of work. You know, we had Lewis and Clark and all these people that came over here to the, you know, across the sea to the Yanks and were the pioneers. And, you know, that's what you hear about. You hear about the pioneers, the people that trudged and forged that first, you know, and I know a lot of people think, well, yeah, but you guys in the U.S., you know, you got it easy. We hear the same exact things. There are so many people that are out there going, oh yeah, you guys are drug sellers now. You just say it's legal, but you're really a bunch of druggies, you know, all this stuff. We get the same, maybe not on as big a scale as you get in the UK, but we certainly hear it here. We certainly see it all the time. I get people all the time that are reaching out to me and saying, you know, Ron, I heard you were, I had someone a couple of months ago say, yeah, would you mind, I did a website for them. And it was a Christian website. And it said, you know, designed by Ron Deering at the bottom. And when they clicked on my link, it took them to my Work with Ron Deering site, which is all about CBD and helping people. And they asked me if I would go into that site I designed for them and take that credit off the bottom because of that. So it no longer says designed by Ron Deering because it pointed to a CBD site. And they didn't think that was appropriate.
It's a bit like that here in England as well. In especially where I live in a little tiny. It's called a city, but it's a tiny little country place with thatched cottages and things. Beautiful to look at, but people think I'm a drug dealer. You know, so I have to try and tell them, no, I'm not. And it's quite difficult to explain what I've been doing. I've been taking a bottle of the oil with me, and anyone I know that uses the CBD oil from Holland and Barrett, I show them. I say, well, can I just see what you're taking? And then I show them the purity of ours, and there's no comparison. And I have sold a couple of bottles just from that, you know. But it's difficult.
And here's what I'll tell you, and I'm going to call Christina Tina, but for Christina too, or, you know, because
everyone can, that's fine.
Tina, you know, we talk about stories, and we're going to have to tweak our story, Tina, because compliance got back to me, and I apologize for not getting back to you, but we've got to change some words and things on that. But we're going to record her story again, and it's amazing. And we just want to make sure we did it already. And I sent it to compliance, and they said, hey, it's good. You just got to tweak some things here. You shouldn't say this or that and everything. But, and I think I sent that to you guys to let you know that. But,
yeah, no.
But you know, that's the epitome of telling the story. You know, that the power in your story, and then having something that you can, you know, look, I'm not just blowing smoke here. Look at the ingredients on ours and look at the ingredients on yours. Which do you want to take?
That's what I've been doing, because, yeah. I mean, it could be car oil as far as they're concerned. You explain it to them.
Exactly. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Kim, you have a question.
Yeah. Hey, Ron, if I may add to that too. And folks, when you come up with people like wanting to compare products and stuff like that, you gotta speak with authority and posture and be confident in your product, right? Because no one's got the seal that we have, you know, as far as in the network marketing world, right? We're the only company, you got to be very, very proud of that. And, you know, and when someone, you know, comes to that, I just basically come back with a car analogy. All right. Well, I mean, you know, it's up to you. Do you want, you know, beat up Chevy, or are you looking for, you know, a Mercedes-Benz, BMW? I mean, again, you know, we have the best product in the world. And if you're not looking for the best, you want something a little bit, you know, less than that, then yeah, then that's where you want to go. You know, so our product is priced very competitively. Right. And we've got the best on the market, and that's why we price it accordingly. So you've got to be very confident and posturize in that, you know, say it's up to you. You know, I mean, do you want a Cadillac, you know, Mercedes or BMW, or you're looking for something less than that? It's up to you, you know, your choice. And then just pull away, you know, because one of the things that we're not in the convincing business, right? We are not in the convincing, because if you find yourself that you have to convince people to either try the product or convince them to join a business, guess what? You'll be convincing them the entire time, right? You convince them to join a business, you're going to have to convince them to join the meetings. Oh, please, please join this training. No, we're not in the convincing business, right? We're like, I know what we've got. We've got the best, you know, I can show you the product. And if you want to be part of this, then, you know, hey, I'm here. I'll help you. I'll train you, you know, so come across with that posture and with that authority. And when you do that, that energy that you reflect will come back to you. All right. Hope it helps. Love you guys.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Kim.
Yeah, I ran into a friend not so long ago that I thought.
Are they okay?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't literally run into them. Okay,
No,
good.
sorry.
Sorry.
No, Shannon used to live, she lives here where I live, but she used to live in Colorado, and she's worked a lot with medical marijuana and candy and stuff. And I thought she would really be interested in our business. Well, as it turned out, she just flat out told me that no, the market is just saturated with CBD oil, and why would I want to be involved, you know, with that? And if I was, you know, I'd go with my friend so-and-so, who I know is, you know, I know his product and I know that it's good stuff. So I basically, you know, thanked her and did what Carlos said, back out and get away, because there was going to be no convincing her, you know. But the thing is I got that stuck in my head that the market is just saturated with it. So why do you want to, you know, why do you want to do this? You know, it's not worth it now.
It is saturated, and I'm being joking, because you're going to hear this. Last year in 2018, the entire CBD industry did a little under 600 million. Okay. They're predicting now, especially after the Farm Bill was signed and everything else, and they're seeing the way it's going, they're predicting it to be the next $1 trillion industry.
Wow.
600 million, $1 trillion. I'm not sure, but I don't think that's even a smattering of a saturation. And our company, of that 600 million, did 110 plus of that. So yeah, people have got, you know, ideas about, you know, oh, it's saturated, oh, you know, here's this company, they got good stuff in it, and there are other companies out there that, you know. But I had someone have this conversation with me the other day, and that's what I told them. I said, you know, I know you've probably got a good product. How much of 600 million did your company do? Can I look at your bottle and see that orange seal on there? Because that says that what you're getting is pure. What you're telling me is you've got a bottle of something that I have no idea what's really in it. What I'm telling you is I've got a bottle that's certified. What comes from the ground to the bottle is exactly the purest and the best, period.
And it's certified by a third party.
And it's certified. Yeah, we didn't certify it. Someone else certified it.
Right, exactly.
You know, it's like I have a bottle of
and it's not genetically modified.
And I don't know, this is just some B12, and it's got and I can't find it right now, but it's got the USP seal of approval. Well, in the vitamin world, if you've got a bottle that's got a USP seal on it, everybody knows, yeah, that's, at least I'm getting what it says is on the bottle. Right now, the only thing out there that does that is the U.S. Hemp Authority certification, and we're the only network marketing company that's got it. In fact, out of 13 companies that have it, 2 of them are ours. So I can go in, and Candace said this the other night, know your product. I can go in there and ask them, hey, is your CO2, is it being processed with solvents? Is it flash dried so it doesn't have any mold? Is it, you know, all of the things that we know it's supposed to have, right? Is it certified and so forth? But here's the thing at the end of the day, and Carlos said it. Anybody you convince, you're going to convince for the rest of their life, and yours too. Yeah. And when it's going to be $1 trillion industry, I assure you, Kim, it is nowhere near saturated. It isn't even begun to be saturated. So it seems like that. It's because of our reticular activators. It's a thing in our brain. There's a thing called the reticular activator, and I learned about this 100 years ago. It seems like now, but I was looking for a Honda CRX, a specific model, high performance engine in it, black and silver, two-tone color. And, you know, I'd only seen one. And I originally living, before I moved out to Idaho, lived in Washington, D.C. area. A lot of traffic, but I only saw one of them. And I saw that door and I went looking. And I finally bought it. And I remember the day that I bought it, me and the kids jumped in, and it's a little sports car. And they wanted to come home with me. They all crammed in the back and under the hatch and everything, and we're driving home. And we saw probably 8 of them on the way home.
Oh, boy.
They were saturated. They were everywhere. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It's like, what did everybody do? They read my mind. They all went out and bought the CRX 1500cc high performance, you know, exact same gray and black two-tone. They were always there. But our brain has this thing that we tie into when something becomes important to us. All of a sudden, our brain starts picking it out all over the place, right?
Yeah.
CBD oil, people that are involved with CBD oil, it's important. So now all of a sudden, you know, those same news reports that were out there about CBD oil, they've been there, but all of a sudden we're seeing them now, right? Our brain is kicking into it. That's your reticular activator. So it makes it look like CBD is everywhere, and it is all over the place. But last year, 600 million on a soon-to-be trillion-dollar industry, soon to be, what, 22 billion in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
A 600 million is a dot, is just a gnat in this. And the fact that we have the company that did 100 million of that is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So, I mean, that's why we're number one. That's why we're the purest and the you know, but I don't need to convince anybody. So be careful with that, because people will tell you that. You know, I've had people over the years say, oh, network marketing is saturated, or this is saturated, that's saturated. I have yet to, in 67 years, find any industry that was saturated. Now, if I go back to, you know, I don't know, napkins, that's probably a saturated, you know, market. There's probably enough napkin people out there.
Yeah. Do you want a good one, or do you want the one that falls apart in little pieces?
It's like the little Blue Fairy one that it does the commercials and
right.
So I hope that answers your questions.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have a question?
Hey, Ron, I am going to post 2 videos. So you mentioned the reticular activating system. So this is a video that Jessica Pankey shared with me, and this is about Mel Robbins. So I'm going to post it here in the chat, but I'm also going to post it in the Daring Dream Team group. So take a moment to watch this video, and it talks about the reticular activating system and the importance of visualization. It just takes 30 seconds a day. So I'm going to share that video with you. And then the other one I'm going to share with you is by a Dr. Bruce, I forget his last name, but he talks about something very similar. And this is where he talks about that our subconscious being created during the first 7 years of our life, which whatever you went through during the first 7 years of your life is not your fault, right? You're just a child, right? It has to, if you're lucky enough to have parents, it has to do with that, right? And however they spoke to you, right? You know, rich people are evil, you know, money doesn't grow on trees, you know, all that kind of stuff, your siblings and your teachers. But he also talks about how you change that subconscious, because again, the subconscious, it makes up only 5%, you know, that 5%, okay, which is created in the first 7 years of your life, it affects 95% of everything you think, say, and do. And the only way you're going to change that 5% is through reprogramming. That's why repetition, like I am statements and everything that you go into your mind, it's so super important. But remember, folks, you know, if you're 30 years old, you got 30 years of bad programming, right? And you're 50 years old, you got 50 years of bad programming. So if you've been doing this for a month and you're like, man, I've been doing this for a month, I've been doing this for 6 months, you know, nothing's changing. Well, you're trying to erase 30 years, 50 years, right? It takes time. So just be patient, trust the process, and just trust me, just continue to do this religiously every single day, whether it's these statements or the ones that, for Candace Bird Johnson, okay, every single day, like brushing your teeth, morning and night, and take the time to visualize. So I'm going to post these videos here right now, and I'm also going to post them in the Daring Dream Team chat. So please take the time to save them. I would actually take the time to listen to them, take some notes, listen to them repeatedly, right? And also save them on your phone so that you can continue to watch them, folks. Because remember, the more you do this, one of the things that I highly recommend that you do, if you haven't done it already, go to YouTube, and whoever your favorite motivational speaker is, search that person. And so, for example, one of my favorites is Tony Robbins. So I'll search Tony Robbins channel, right? Because if you just do Tony Robbins, a lot of people just kind of repurpose his content. I go to Tony Robbins channel and I subscribe to his channel. Robert Hollis channel, and I subscribe to his channel. And guess what I do? I spend my day, when I'm not working, I spend my day listening, putting good stuff in there. The more you reprogram your mind, the more you're going to change your future, and you're going to change your outcome, right? So get that into your mind as much as possible, repeatedly. I mean, like brushing your teeth every single day, multiple times a day. The more you do it, the more results you're going to get, and quicker you're going to get them. All right, so I'll post them now. Love you guys. Thank you so much, Ron.
I saw, and I laughed at this, and I chuckled with him, because Carlos was saying that, if you've been 30, you've been 50, and Wayne's over there just laughing, because he and I, he's older than I am, but we're looking back on, oh no, I got 100 years to reprogram. So nothing. Hey, and for those of you guys who haven't met Wayne, reach out to him. Boy, he's an amazing young man, and he's like Gina. He's just, and a lot of you, he understands the process, and he just keeps working, keeps going, keeps doing it, And I'm so honored and proud of all of you here. I want to leave you with one last thing, and this is like, I was a youth pastor, and when I was younger at a church, and I remember so many times speaking, and times at the church when the pastor and I would be talking, and he would say, oh yeah, this is my least favorite message. I have to talk about tithing, and we hate talking about that. So I'm going to talk about tithing here, and not really tithing, but remember, and Josh Swagel, to me, here he is, a kid in his 20s. And I look at kids in their 20s these days, and I don't mean anything bad about this, but when I was a kid in my 20s, it was a whole together different era, back then. I got drafted at 18 and had to grow up very, very quickly. The military was something that helped me very, very much in that. And by the time I was 21 years old, I was like a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old. I had gone through so much in life and had learned so much and everything. And I look at kids nowadays in their 20s, and there's still, a lot of them are still living at home. And then along comes Josh Swagel. And what just I don't want to say a freak of nature, but are we blessed or what to have Josh and Jenna Swagel as the founders of this company? Amazing. The guy plays chess blindfolded and wins. And I don't know if, I was in a chess club in high school and college, and I would have played blind. I would have played with a blindfold on, but I would have spent most of the time picking up the pieces I'd knocked over. The guy's phenomenal. So when he does a presentation and he's talking about your auto ship and purchasing, one of the things he said in Seattle that really hit home with me, that I just never thought about it, but if you don't have product, and if you're not purchasing product, you don't have a business. And when he said that, I thought, wow, I never thought of it like that. Because so many of us on the team, and so many of us that have our business, we look at it and say, I guess I better buy some product this month if I'm going to stay active, da-da-da-da. What do you think the guy that owns the McDonald's franchise thinks about that? Do you think he's worried about paying $69 to get a bottle or paying $150 to keep his business intact? He's paying $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month in product and stuff to keep so he can make profit, right? He doesn't buy the hamburgers, whether they're frozen or fresh. He doesn't buy those products just because he wants to buy those products and stay active. He buys those products because that's the crux of his business, right? He has to have it. Yet in network marketing, again, we get to the point where it's like, oh, no, I guess I got to buy, I got to buy product again, Well, if you're not using the product and you're not showing people the product and you're not sharing it, then you don't have a business. You just don't have a business. You got a hobby. And people typically don't make money at their hobbies. They have fun at their hobbies. They don't make money at their hobbies. But if you've got a business and you're serious about having a business, then you need to be purchasing your product, whatever, 90 or 40 BV every single month like clockwork. And I normally don't even, there you go, Wayne, there's your coffee, right? And I keep, I've got a drawer full of my, sprays that I use every day. I've got my oil here. I've got my face cream. I got to keep, because it's my business, right? And if you don't have product and you're not showing the product and you're not sharing the product, then you don't have a business. And I'm telling you this because there's 9 days left in the month, right? And a lot of people, I don't know how many of you, but a lot of people on your team haven't ordered their product for the month yet. And they're wondering why their business isn't working. Now, I'm not going to tell you, oh, as soon as you order your product, your business is going to work. It's like, I'll never tell you that if you go to an event, your business will explode. But here's what I will tell you about that. Everybody that has exploded their business has gone to events. Okay? Everybody that consistently purchases products, gets out there, shows their products, and I'm seeing LW's face here in front of me right now, and he's an amazing example because he always has product around, and he's selling the product that he has, not only through his website, but the product that he has, right? That's because he has a business. It's because he has a business, right? I see people that are out there with their business and they have product. I was watching Candace she did a live today that was just a presentation. She used the new slides and she intermixed with herself, with her talking and so forth. And you know what the most powerful thing in that, if you're not friends with her, go out, reach out to her, but watch her live. And I'll try to find the link to that. I won't try. As Yoda says, there's no try, just do. Or however he says, right? So I'll get the link to I was going to say Yoda's presentation, Candace's presentation, and share that with you in the Dream Team thread. But one of the most impressive things I saw was when she switched back to just her on the camera. In the back on her table was all of the products lined out in a display, a beautiful display. The spray, she had like 2 separate sets of the 6 sprays and all of the products sitting there and everything else, just as nice as could be, right? The first thing that came into my head was, she has a business. She has a business. That person has a business. Anybody watching that would look at that and go, wow, what a nice display in the back of all the products and everything that she has, because she has a business. We wonder why, she's a 50K affiliate. Why is she successful in that? Because she has a business, right? Reach out to your team today. I would love, and I'm not talking about because, we've got people that are heading up to 10K, and that's important too, and all of the volume that would generate. But people need to understand, if you have a business, you need to purchase your products for the month. And not wait till the last minute every single month. Not wait till the end of the month. Get your product out there. Teach your team to get their product. Teach your team that this is a business. And I feel like I'm preaching about tithing and everything, and money's a sore subject and all that stuff. But it's not about that. It's about your success. If you're just in this because you like the products and you're just buying products every month because you like them and you're using them and everything, that's okay. But if you're in this and you truly are building a business, then those are the people I'm talking to. And you are the ones that need to be in business and have your products there, right? Can you go into a store? If you go into, and I forget, Tina, what the name of this, the big store in the UK was, Browns and Blacks or whatever. But, you know, if I go into a GNC, what do I see on the shelves? Product, right? And I guarantee you they're spending a lot more on product inventory than we have to spend. So, all right, enough said about that. Reach out to your team today. Let's make today and tomorrow the day of everybody making sure they're qualified, making sure they've got their monthly, making sure they are in business, as Josh puts it. 28-year-old can tell you that if you want to be in business, a guy that took 9 million to 100 million just baffles my mind, right? If he says you need to have product and if you're to be in business, then let's have product and let's be in business, okay? So God bless you all. I hope you have an amazing, amazing weekend. Let's just blow these last 9 days of the first quarter out of the water. Let's let people know that, yeah, let's let them think it's saturated because of all the things that we're doing. Because all they see is My Daily Choice and Hempworks. What is there? How many is there of you guys? Guess what? There's only 60,000 of us. Is that saturation? I don't know how many people are in the world, but I think 60,000 is like, a nano amount. So let's just blow it up. God bless you all. Thank you again for being here. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Love you guys.
Love you.
Thanks, guys. I love you.
All right, you too. Thank you, Daniel. Bye, guys.
See ya. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you. Likewise.
Bye, Carlos.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, UK.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
Peggy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Jedediah. Bye, Aaron. LW.
Hi, Ron. Have fun.
Always.